Different personality types, different cultures. How does it affect work from home? We're going to dig into that this morning. We're also going to talk about how do you deflate stress given today's environment, and also intentional learning and how that can be a career advantage. So I'm very happy to have a guest with me this morning, Jonathan Schultz. Jonathan Schultz is the co-founder of Onyx Equities. He is a prop tech investor, mentor, and a thought leader. Jonathan, how are you doing, sir? Welcome to Open Source Workplace.
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
No, I thank you, and I appreciate your patience this morning. We've had some technical difficulties on my end, so I want to appreciate it and thank you for your patience. And it's great to have you back with us. I was actually just thinking through. It's actually been a while, although you and I talk, regularly. It's been a while since we actually did a video together. So, I mean, how are things with you? How's the family? How was your summer?
It was good. It was definitely unique. Lots of golf rounds. I mean, the golf craze and the amount of rounds that have been played this year, because it was really a great way to social distance and get out of your house. So the minute the
Yeah.
course is allowed, obviously safely, it was a tremendous thing to be able to do. So that kept me sane, put it that way.
Good. Glad to hear. Glad to hear. And you're obviously knee deep in all around real estate, prop tech, and you must have some perspectives that I'd love to dig into in sort of what you're saying, what you're witnessing, and what you do with Onyx. And maybe the best place to start is to really understand some of that is, what is Onyx Equities and what is it you guys do?
So Onyx Equities is an investor, owner, operator. We are based in New Jersey. We invest in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. We've always stuck to that geography. We do different asset classes. We do office. We did retail. We still have some retail. We do industrial investing as well, and we have been doing some resi lately. But we always felt real estate is local, and you could spread out geographically, but you can maybe only focus on one asset type. We like to get to know our neighborhoods, our communities. We want to actually add value to where we live and all the people that we touch within our geography. So we've always stayed that way and very concentrated. And as you get older, you learn markets, people, tenants, everything that goes in why you become a success in anything. But it really does help in real estate like tremendously to stay in an area and really get to know.
Yeah. And you said you were in retail. Are you trying to move out of that, or is just the market economics has sort of caused you to reschedule or rethink what your outcome
I mean,
or
we
what
have
you're trying
some
to get?
properties. We have some supermarket anchored properties that are doing fairly well, if not, better than we thought. But, retail's going through a transformation. I mean, in this pandemic, we're all in this place and we don't really know where that place is leading us to, especially in retail. Once we come out, I think the resiliency of the tenants that, have taken the time to combine technology with bricks and mortar will keep thriving and surviving.
Hmm.
We'll see how it, looks. I would say we need another 9 months to really see how it looks.
Got it. And obviously, you're an investor as well in prop tech. Is there certain things that excite you about the prop tech investing opportunities right now?
I think a lot of the things that we were focused on, from touchless entry to facial recognition to delivering services to these buildings was a godsend because it hasn't been there for years. And finally, the adoption of our industry took hold. And all the things that we're going to deal with now, besides the air quality, the health and wellness, and just getting people back into buildings feeling comfortable being around each other, that's a whole nother issue that we focused on. But if you put a building app in, now you can do other things with that app because it's already in, and maybe now people will actually have a higher level of adoption because of
Mm.
the services that we can bring, from delivering food to your space, to other things that will occur during this time, to be creative, to make sure everyone feels comfortable in these buildings.
Yeah, you're so right about the app adoption, right? I think something pre-COVID, it was like 18% adoption was something for in-house company provided applications. I'm not sure what you saw from a building provided application, but yeah, I suspect that in time to come, those apps are going to be increasing dramatically because people want to be more informed. And I think there's going to be better functionality in a sort of, seat selection and so on and so forth as we think about the office and the premises going forward.
I think that people do what they need to do, not necessarily what they want to do. I
Mm,
think COVID's created a lot of needs in places that we wanted to go anyway, but maybe now this will force change. Change is why nothing extraordinary happens unless in any industry people feel they need that change, right? So hopefully we're gonna get there. Uh, but first we just want to get people back in the buildings and feeling comfortable, and we're doing everything that we can to create that experience, that feeling, because we do care. I mean, like without tenants, in real estate you don't have a business, right? So that's our most important focus.
No, we've talked about your prop tech. We've talked about your investments in real estate, but you also have a website where you share a lot of your own thoughts and you provide leadership and guidance for those who want to sort of learn from you. And we've picked two articles that you've published recently that really want to sort of dig in deep with you and understand sort of your mindset and perspectives on this. And one was about personality types and work from home and how we have to manage those differently. And what you actually said, I just want to be sure that I sort of quote you. You said that managers who aren't clued in aren't going to be able to support the team fullest right now. So in other words, I mean, sort of in what aspect do you think they have to understand the personality types?
Well, I think like we are in a place where maybe large companies have distributed workforce, have worked not together, right? I mean, even
Hmm.
your
Yeah,
team, they're all over the world, right? You're used to understanding people while not being with them in a way that most people have not practiced that skill. So most of our economy and most of the tenants are mid-sized companies in the country. And I think the challenge will be to learn how to be more effective working remotely, understanding it's harder to see and feel people's emotions and what they're thinking and how they're, feeling that day. And when you're together, you can sort of get through that in an easier way. So that was what I meant. And I think
mhm.
in anything, practice makes perfect, right? But I think when you're not together and it's not a continuous flow of energy that we all usually bring to each other, it's just going to be more of a focus on maybe listening more, like less quick to act and react as fast, sort
Yeah.
of take a step back just so that you can get used to this new way of communicating because it's different. It's different. I mean, I sit on Zoom meetings. It's so hard to know even when you're going to when to interject in a conversation, right? So one on one like this is terrific. I mean, I've met more people, fun, which I think is funny during this period because I can quickly get someone on a call. I don't have that same, energetic connection that I probably would if I met them in person, but I can do that now down the road. But it was real, there's ways to use this that it's really effective and ways that we need to get better and more effective.
And you do give no, and it's funny to say that. Often, I hear people talk. It's hard to meet people right now. Or I actually think it's almost easier to meet people. I don't know if you find that, but I also find that I get to a deeper level of connection in this environment, almost because we're all prepared to feel more vulnerable because we're all going through this together, and actually we're all able to ask about family, about each person's situation, and really understand those some of the things. I don't know if you've experienced that too.
I think that whatever you put your attention to is where you go in your life. So Zoom and these one-on-one calls now instead of on a phone, you feel the relationship growing more. In my
Hmm.
that's just my opinion. I'm a people person, so I like to sit across the table. I like to meet people in person and get to know people that way. This is giving me that ability to a point, but it's also allowed me to do it in a much bigger way. From people in California all over the country to you know it's quicker, right? People will take 15 minutes now, where before if you had to make a meeting with someone, it was a hour, 2 hour. So I actually, like you said, I've met more people during this time in this medium. Hopefully once this is over and everything gets back to normal, where we can have more one-on-one meetings or group meetings, that I can re-engage them in the way that I really like, which is in person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
No, absolutely. And go back to your article, you talked about, the culture and what we have to look out for, and you give four specific things. There's one I want to touch on, and one was about burnout. I know who you are, the high energy you have, whether we chat at 5 a.m. or 6 p.m. in the evening, your energy levels are always the same. But how do you acknowledge that and see that in your team? Are there things that you look at, or is there ways that you try to manage that for the people that you
Well,
oversee?
just in my, for like, business, personal, everything, right? There's no break. I mean, I like the first 3 months or 2 months, I was scheduling myself to craziness, right? Like
Yeah.
giving myself no breaks. Listen, normally when you had a meeting, you'd have a half hour. You'd have to, if you're in the city, you'd have to walk to the next meeting. Maybe it was an hour in between because you had to drive to that next meeting. Your downtime was created for you automatically. So
Mm.
once this appeared and we had to do everything, on Zoom or the other mediums that we're using from Teams, I was scheduling to the minute. So I think you have to be very cognizant of what breaks mean. Micro breaks, which means they could be 15 minutes, they could be a half hour. And I built them into my day, even though I felt like, why am I doing this? I'm sitting at home. Why can't I just get on another call? I found the more that I did that, the more I actually was less stressed. And, that's what we're all working towards, to enjoy what we do, not just do it and literally, be stressed out about it. So.
Yeah, no, that's a nice segue into the sort of the next piece of content you published just recently, because yeah, to your point, right, you manage your stress very well. You put yourself under tremendous pressure in a sense of you're always on the go, and you note seven things that you do to deflate stress. And folks, if those are watching, we'll put links to everything in down below in the description. So please do, one, connect with John, but also then link through and have a look at his content. Now, the seven things that you note, is there anything that specifically that you go is like, that's the number one thing that really matters to me? And if I don't do that one thing, then everything else just collapses.
Exercise. For me, it's 100% something I cannot live without. When I was pre-COVID, I would, make an early meeting and then miss it. And, I still was flowing and out there in the world, walking around, running around, moving, right? Movement is
Mm,
everything. It keeps us, our psyches going. So exercise is number one. I don't feel the same when I don't do it. I feel whatever the serotonin drip it gives you it's magical. So for me, that's a mainstay.
yeah, it's funny. As I went through your list, I was reflecting as well, and the one I liked was your unplugging. Right, unplug in the evenings just so that one you can go to bed and you can sleep well. But the other thing that sort of struck me was the one you said, don't rush. Don't rush your mornings, take your time, and you let your energy build and you gradually work into your day. Because I think many people who don't get up quite as early as what maybe you and I do feel like they get up later and then they're bang on the go all day. And the mornings where I don't get that ability to sort of ease into my day are the days where I'm going, oh, what's happened? Because I feel less stressed. So I think that's an important thing for people to do.
Yeah, listen, everyone's different, right? There's no one size fits all rule for anyone. We're all unique in our own ways. I personally love the mornings. So for me, getting up early, I go to bed earlier, is the way I prepare myself for my life, my day, my work, whatever I'm doing. To me, that's an irreplaceable time. I feel that, it's this time where you're up before anything has started. So it makes me feel that I don't have to rush. I may even use that as something that, knowing I am that type of person that likes to push forward and constantly on the move, waking up before anything is started gives me that sort of sanity of like, okay, just, get yourself ready for the day, do the things that, make you and nourish you for
Hmm.
doing a better job, being a better person, having more patience, being able to listen better, all the things that we all want to, master. And that for me, the mornings is what is a magical time for me. So.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it is great, and I love my mornings too. I do. One of the things is I've got to know you, John, and one thing I've realized is you're a continual learner. You seek out opportunities to learn, to develop your skill sets, and I just we just shared a McKinsey article related to that and how intentional learning and how it can help your career. What are some of the things you do or you've done through this time that actively you are learning or you're doing to learn and progress yourself?
So there's so many mediums to learn today. It's almost overwhelming, from podcasts to audio books to courses online to articles to newsletters. There's so many ways to get information to this thing you're doing. I mean, look what you're doing to help people. And by the way, this is tremendous what you do. So I'm
Thank you, man.
thankful, and I know a lot of people are too. So I think, without overwhelming yourself, when I'm learning something, I just feel this different feeling. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't feel that when I was in high school or grammar school, but college, I got a little better. But like right now, like when I feel I'm learning something new, being taught something new, having a conversation with someone, and they're giving me new knowledge that I can apply, I don't know, I get a happy feeling. And so for me, like if that's a way you can be happy, and you read all these articles about trying to be happy, which happiness is fleeting, joy is hopefully could be permanent. You got to find things that allow you to feel that flow, that joy. Learning for me is one of them. Plus, I love helping people. So in my mind, as a mission statement for helping people, the more you know, the more you can help, give experience, and maybe guide someone in the right direction, right? That will help them and make them better. Because I think, like, I want my legacy to be everyone who I've touched and helped along the way did something different or better, or something happened to them that created something for them in their lives that made them happy. So if you're going to want to be that, you better know enough and learn enough that maybe you can do that and more at scale. I mean, and that's what I like to do. So.
Yeah, and there's so many things you just said there, but what sort of struck me and what I'd love to ask and learn a little more is so there are many people who are just entering their career today, right, through this time, and they've entered the job world where actually the world is so different. There is such a it's so tough for them to get integrated, feel part of organizations, teams, and so on and so forth. What sort of guidance would you give them in ways to integrate and develop themselves?
uh we have this moment right now where it's uncertain for everyone, right? Companies, but if you can, I would say, research who's doing well, what companies are doing well, why are they doing well, from the online companies that have not missed a beat, morph the medium we're on now, Zoom, like why did that happen? We all know why, but there's other industries, there's other companies now that have created that path for themselves. Now's the time to learn, research, and figure out and make calls and try to move yourself in a direction that could happen for you when the time comes. I mean, things are uncertain. So, in uncertainty, I think it's very important to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's a lesson of patience, but it's
Mm.
also a lesson of not just sitting around, also knowing you have to take action. Those three things, patience, action, and learning lessons, don't always feel so good. But I think if you apply those three in a little bit of what you do in your day each day, which I get plenty of inbound calls from younger people asking me those questions you just asked. And in my industry, I give them the best experience. I hate giving advice, that I possibly can, to guide them in a direction. And, a lot of people get paralyzed when things are fearful. I've always felt, courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about actually doing it while you're afraid. And I think, mustering up some courage to do some things that maybe you would feel uncomfortable during this time period. You sort of get a pass to do it. People I feel are more willing to pick up the phone. You know, no, this happened to all of us. I mean, everyone's trying to figure this out. I don't care, you know, how successful you are or what you do compared to just entering the workforce, or, you know, even, you know, kids in college not being able to go back. And this is a weird time. So I think in weird times, you gotta, you know, maybe do some things that you normally wouldn't do. And that's the lesson you'll learn to break through, you know, and be better.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot there, John. It's I always come away to sort of when I chat with you, always energized, excited, because you just bring it to it every time I talk to you, and I love the fact that you just said I don't give advice, I share my experience because I think it's important. It's certainly a lesson I need to learn more of, right? In essence, how do I share my experience or provide opportunities to allow people to really grow themselves? It's
Well,
it's
because
tough
one
sometimes.
thing I know, people do not like to be told what. I am one of them.
I
So
am one of them too. I got
for
agreed.
someone sharing experience, it's a lot different than saying this is what you got to do. And it's really not for you to tell anybody what to do. It's for you to give what you've learned, because everyone, like I said, is a unique person, and no one's going to do it the same way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to finish it off there because I think I want people to really noodle on what you just said, and yeah, we need to clip this and share this a little bit more, Jonathan. So, look, I appreciate your time this morning. I
My
appreciate your
pleasure.
patience. I
My
appreciate your
pleasure.
patience as we pull this together, and I look forward to having you on again, Jonathan. It's always great chatting with you, and folks. Please do check the links below. Reach out to Jonathan. Say hello on LinkedIn. Go check his website where there's a ton of information and knowledge that he has shared, experiences he is sharing there as well. So thank you, and we'll talk soon.
And
Thank you,
thanks
man.
for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. My
All right.
pleasure.
Take care.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Bye.